Welcome back to Apex33. This is just a very quick update to the workshop video to show you what we've been doing in the last 4-ish months.
Yep. So first car we're going to have a look over is Joe's black one. We did show off some of this in the last video, so won't bore you with that. If you want to see that, there will be a link in the description to the whole playlist. Basically since then, the only thing we've done is the fuel system. So the car was having a bit of a fueling issue and that was affecting the running. So we've overhauled everything. We've installed a new fuel pump, new fuel lines, and made some new brackets for the fuel filter. And we've also installed new injectors.
This white, very late Series 3 16 valve wasn't in the last video. It's come in since that was filmed. Belongs to someone we know. She's owned the car for many years and she absolutely treats it like gold. She really does. But it went to a garage that only really see modern cars. They didn't know what they were doing. It went in with poor running and came out as a non-runner. Lots of bits they removed, they did their best, but one of the jobs they did was to refurbish the fuel tank. They fitted the tank back in, not knowing there should have been a spacer above the tank. That wasn't fitted, so the tank ended up being too close to the floor of the car. So it was pinching the pipes, so the fuel supply to the front wasn't there. So it would run for 30 seconds and then cut out. So that's an easy job to fix, but it took a while to find that problem. We were at the front end changing all the fuel pipes before we found that fault. Now done, it runs beautifully. Once it was running, it wouldn't rev, it would idle, and as soon as you get to 1000 RPM it would stop revving. Turned out the throttle position sensor that had been fitted was off a 145. Completely wrong. So we fitted a 33 one. It starts, it drives, it revs, it's perfect. It's a really good running car. There's a little job list on it. There's a few coolant leaks and it's got the wrong battery fitted to it. A couple of cosmetics. So we're going through the list. It's definitely a car to spend the time and money on. It's an absolutely solid example. Now all the work is done, the little glitch list jobs, the owner wants it fully resprayed to a really high standard. So we're now just about to start taking the car apart, ready for a respray. You've seen in the previous workshop video the red one that we had painted. The same painter will do this, really high level of quality. This will get absolute top paint job. So we look forward to showing you progress pictures of that and the finish article. Be good to see a white 33 fully painted, something I haven't seen before. So it'll be a good result. So we'll document this in the next couple of months and show you how it looks.
Now this car is one of our own, our first project car that is actually ours, and I'm very excited about it because it's the track car. Now, not going to show you too much because we don't want spoilers, but there will be a series coming out soon, all based around this car, and I'm very looking forward to it. We have got a few spoilers to show you though. So, first thing is just a bit of a roll cage here that we've got. And the other small spoiler is some very lightweight wheels. Very good find these. They're really light, so they'll be very good for the track car. Yeah, stay tuned for the track car videos that will be coming out next year. I'm very excited about those.
We've got the black permanent 4 that was in the last video. The work we've done to it since then. We're basically waiting for a gap with the welder because it needs a bit of welding under the offside front jacking point area and on the front of the chassis, which is quite serious work. One of the major MOT failures was that area. So that's going to get done in 2 weeks' time, and then we can look at getting an MOT on the car and getting it back to the owner. It feels like it's been here a long time. couple of weeks ago, I took the doors apart and replaced the electric window motors because they weren't working. Just trying to get little jobs done while we're waiting for a gap at the welders. It runs nicely now. It did have brake issues. All of that is now sorted. We haven't yet sorted out the four-wheel drive system, but the brief from the owner is get it solid, get it MOT'd, then we'll look at the four-wheel drive system. So this will be in the welders in as little as 2 weeks' time. So we'll keep you updated with that. So as well as these 33s in here, we've also been involved in a couple of things that aren't in this unit. There's a guy only 15 miles away. He came to me. He had, up until recently, a very, very unique S2 Alpha Spider, the camtail Spider, early 1970s. He's had the car for 20, 30 years. After a bit of homework with auction sites, we found out it's the lowest mileage Spider of that age in the UK. 23,000 miles from new, which is incredible. And it hasn't run for over 20 years. It's been sat in a heated garage, beautiful condition. It's like a car that's been in stasis. The brief was do an appraisal, what's it worth, get it running, if it needs anything, supply, fit, get it sorted, and then try and introduce it to a new enthusiastic owner. The guy was quite keen for it to go to a owner in this country. There was interest from Belgium and, believe it or not, even Malta, but the guy was turning down those offers. He wanted it to stay in the UK. His car, he makes the rules. So it was just a stasis car. It just hadn't changed. It was like working on a 1970s car in the 1970s. It looked like it had just had a full retrim. It hasn't. It's just a perfect example. And we did some work on the carburetors. It turns out it needed a fuel pump, and very easy cars to work on from the 70s. So that was sorted out, and it's now with its new owner in Wales, and it's joined a privately owned fleet of 18 classic cars. It's amongst other Alfa Romeos and Maseratis and Ferraris. It's gone to an incredible home. It's kind of like it's in its own little Italian car museum over in Wales, and that car will be used every couple of months. So that's good that we introduced that to a new owner, and it was a pleasure to work on. And another car that I've only seen once, but I've been supplying bits for it recently. Very rare car. It's a Ginetta 15. I think it's a C15, or it might be a G15. And it's from the 1980s, and it's a full-on race car. But it's one of 5 in the 80s that was converted to run from the Imp powertrain to Alpha 33, or SUD. So it's got a flat 4 8-valve carburetor engine. It's got the SUD gearbox with the inboard brakes, and I've been supplying bits for it to get it back to running, because it hasn't run properly for 7 or 8 years. So it's now running nicely. I've just supplied all the ignition system and the distributor, a few of the little bits here and there, carburetor components, and it's now competing and doing well. So like we saw in one of our last videos, you saw the Alfa Arna that had the 8-valve 33 engine in it. Well, it's amazing where these engines end up. So there's one of 5. This Ginetta is running an Alfa engine. It's incredible. So that's another thing we got involved in. It's not all about working here. It's supplying bits to people as well. So that's another one that I'm very chuffed. He couldn't find bits for years. I found them. It's now racing very competitively. The last race it did, which was a hill climb, 26 cars in the race, it came 3rd. Amazing. For the first race in 7 or 8 years. So all good news. Well, that's what we've been up to for the last couple of months. Thank you for watching. Just a brief update down here, so thank you for that. On a quick note, in the last workshop video we talked about, with a bit of a laugh, how much of a pain it is to change the heater box on a 33. And Cohen's avoided the last couple, which, if you look at the last video, he's laughing about. Well, he doesn't know that I've got a car coming in 3 weeks' time purely for a heater box job. And he's doing it. And once he's got used to doing that, he also doesn't know that last week I noticed that the heater box has gone in the track car. It's going to get stripped out anyway. But he can do that as well. So that's payback for laughing at me in the last video for changing heater boxes. You've got one to do in January. Karma. Done.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'm not going to enjoy January, but yeah, there'll be lots of good content coming out soon.
Yeah, we've got some good plans, and he will not enjoy January, but I will.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, very funny. Okay.